Hello everyone. Yep, it's Those Aren't Biscuits. Let's play through Destiny DLC, doing Taken King, blah blah blah. Let's just get this started with. Next step, gotta talk to Eris more. Oh, God, I can't stand this person. Wait, she's right behind me, and I got to, hey, Eris! Sure, I would love to hear your crappy high school poetry. Lay it on me.
We must make you an ascendant hive. Find the crystal that held Crota's soul.
My soul trapped in a crystal. Ascendant the hive I shall. Billy, come back to me. Okay, only by returning to the moon will you find the materials we need. These cruel rituals may be of use to us yet. Oh, well, yeah, that makes them okay then, right?
We failed, but these pieces of his journal kept me alive. Take them with you to the moon.
I wasn't wrong. I have his journal. Day 12. I asked Julie to the prom. She wouldn't go with me. My soul is as black as the tux I was planning on renting. Okay, going to the moon. So, in case you haven't picked up on it, there is a bit of a schedule to how these are released. I don't think I've mentioned it before, but the idea is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know, every other day, taking the weekends off. I would have absolutely loved to do one every single day. You know, like the Game Grumps or the Let's Play guys, the Achievement Hunters. But honestly, I have a full-time job other than this. And I just don't have the time to do one of these every single day. Or even record them further enough in advance. Oh, okay.
But Crota was only a servant of his father, sent to extinguish the last of the light.
So it started with his dad, and
the great battle fought for the soul of our world ended in slaughter.
It's rough.
The sun was dead, and we invited the wrath of Oryx, destroyer of light, taker of will.
Or will
Only
the taker.
Ascendant hive move between ruptures. To reach Oryx, you must walk in the dying footsteps of his son.
Where there is two footsteps,
Ascendant.
Crota chased you. Where there is one is when we murdered him and carried him. And no, I did not forget about the cliffhanger of the story. I'm just waiting for the mission to start, and I will recontinue the tale of my experience with online dating. But I figured if I have to sit through this black screen with nothing to entertain me, goddamn you do too. I'm that kind of person, you know? I don't like to suffer alone, so I will drag everyone with me. Alright, here we are. Oh, excuse me.
Hold fast to Toland's journal. It saw me through my time in the dark.
Hold fast to your gun, Guardian.
Yeah!
Get back to the chamber where they held Crota's soul.
Thank you, Cade. It's like, you ever read Emily Dickinson? Like, man, it really got me through some hard times.
Alright, here's what needs to happen. We have to steal a chunk of hive crystal that's still got a trace of Crota's soul, so you can pass through an interdimensional portal on the Dreadnought and kill Oryx. I leave anything out, Eris?
It must be done before Oryx turns his scrying eye to this realm.
Good luck, Guardian.
Yeah, no problem. So, okay, so where was I? Yeah, so we had just finished up dinner at the Chinese restaurant where she had boxed up the dinner that I bought to take home to her friends or her roommates. You know, and honestly, even then, like, that didn't bother me so much because, like, I was kind of working my way through college too, and you know, things get pricey. They do, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, and that's fine. Like, I can look past that. So next we would decide to go to this bar. There was this girl who was singing that night. And oh my god, I can't think of her name right now, but she's actually very good. If I could think of the name, I will blurt it out. But
the dreadnought shields the hive from the traveler's light. Were we to pass through its deepest layers, our light would be as a dying sun.
Okay. Aren't all suns kind of dying?
Fun at parties.
That's actually kind of funny. So we go to this bar that's just a little bit down the road. Let's see, and the place is basically a dive. You know, it's. I mean, it's the kind of bar I actually like.
If the thralls
Normally.
still feed, Crota's essence must endure.
You guys are just gonna talk through this whole thing, aren't you? Man. And, so we go to this bar, and the thing is that the bar also fancied itself an art gallery, I guess. And, so I was like, okay, well, this should be interesting. When I got there, I kind of really quickly understood what they meant by art gallery as it was how do I explain this? Some of the stuff that they had on display were basically like scribblings that someone had done on bar napkins. And don't get me wrong, you know, art comes in many shapes and sizes, and all of it is valid, I think. But they were charging like $50-$60 for some of these, and which I you know, is cheap in the art world. I completely understand. But I don't know, man. It's real hard for me to. Oh, hello. Hi. It's real hard for me to try to justify that purchase, you know? And also none of it looked particularly good to me, like to my eye, you know. And yeah, you know, you can go on and be like, oh well, he doesn't have an eye for art, you know. Everyone has an eye for art, and everyone has an eye for the things that they like. So if someone doesn't like something, it's not because they're uncivilized or some crap like that. They just don't like it, and yeah, I just didn't like any of it. So we're there, and so I'm immediately kind of getting put off by the place because if there's one thing that I don't particularly like is artificial, you know, pretense, you know, pretentiousness, you know. I mean, because like there's a lot of things that some people think are pretentious and I don't. But this was a pretentious place, you know. Oh my God, no. Well, I'll see you later, apparently.
It's gone. I think Oryx just took an ogre.
Yep, he does that.
Even Oryx can control an ogre, unless it's taken. Now quickly, I need a shard of that crystal.
Okay. This crystal?
I knew it could be done. And does it still hold the whisper of Crota's
It's a very,
According to my analysis, it's empty.
No matter. Return to me, Guardian, and we will destroy.
Oh, that's probably not good.
Eris? Cade? I think we've lost them. Something's blocking our signal and our transmat.
Hi.
Infection. Your light dies here.
Oh, shit.
Too many of them. Run!
Damn! So the day's going on, and like I said, immediately,
Infection. Your light.
so the place are, okay, yep, gone.
There's too many of them. Run!
So the place is already kind of like putting me off. So maybe that paints the rest of the the date. I don't know. But I will say that the singer comes on stage and she starts to play, and I enjoy the singer. I think she's really good. And I'm sitting there with the date, and we're talking a little bit and trying to get a feel for each other, as you do. And we're having a couple beers, and each beer was like $7-8, which is expensive for this part of the country. And all of a sudden, I hear someone call out like my date's name, and I look over, and it's this group of girls, and I was like, okay. And it turns out to be a bunch of her friends. Not the ones I had bought dinner for, but a different group.
Cade, can you hear us?
And they just...
Still no connection.
They just sit down and at our table and decide like, oh, well, we're just gonna join right in. And if it had only been for... Oh, man. If it had only been for a couple, like... minutes, maybe like one song, like that would have been fine. But the truth of it is that they stuck around, and they just kind of become part of the conversation. And my date didn't try to stop them or discourage them in any way. What am I supposed to be doing here? And so I'm sitting there just like, okay, well, I guess I'm now on a date with multiple girls, except only one of them is probably even interested in me.
It has long been my belief
But that's
that
fine.
lines which
They're not
hold
asking me to buy them
greater
drinks or anything,
powers
so
could be lifted by
whatever.
releasing the
I'm
energy
good.
stored within their tomb husks.
Annoyed, but I'm good. And so
A tomb husk.
this goes on, and it goes. All the topics that you're not supposed to bring up on a date come up. Religion, politics, just, and it's starting to realize that this isn't going well anymore, and I would very much like the date to be over, but it keeps going and keep going, and her friends finally leave, and it's like, oh, thank God, you harpies, be gone. with ye. Like, I'm trying to bring your friend, all right? Just let me be, okay? I'm 22. I'm recently out of a relationship, all right? My intentions are not pure at this moment. I'm sorry. Especially for those of you who might think I'm some moral champion. I'm not. I have some pretty base instincts sometimes. And, hey, I've come to live with it. You know, maybe you should too.
They've warded it with 2 locks.
And so they finally do leave, though. And I think, okay, well, I'm in the clear now. We can go back to having our date. Things will get better, right? Well, and they do. They do for a second. Until this guy shows up, all right? And maybe you guys don't have a reference for this, but like I said, this has to be 2010, I believe, and this is kind of right around the period when emo is kind of losing its popularity, and the hipster look is really starting to take off among college kids. And this kid kind of has this combination of both that it's very, very hard to explain. But he shows up, right, and he starts talking with my date, and it's okay. I don't necessarily have an emotional investment in this anymore, so it's like, okay, whatever. Like, some dude is here talking with my date. That's fine. Like, I'm not gonna get bent out of shape. I'm not gonna, you talking to my woman? Oh, hell no, you ain't talking to my woman. No, my watch. I couldn't, it's like, whatever. Couldn't care less. But she doesn't seem too thrilled with him talking to her. But once again, not emotionally invested. It's like, well, hey, you've apparently made some damn choices in your life that has brought this kid, to our table. I wish I didn't have to deal with it.
Just like Ariana.
That's Eris. The connection is getting stronger.
So there's a little bit of a confrontation.
Better to have a tomb husk and not need it than to need a tomb husk and not have it.
Ow.
3 locks. Well, you can't say they aren't trying.
It's nothing serious, but once again, it was enough to be like, good God, like, please just make this end. But so we stick around though until the singer's finished up her show, and then she does this thing where once again, this might not be a big thing anymore, but these singer-songwriters playing these bars, it was pretty common for them to sell CDs afterwards, and so I go up and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get go buy a CD, maybe she'll get to sign it, or who knows. And this is where I realized, like, oh no, I've made a terrible mistake. Because as I'm buying the CD, I hear my date start to kind of take the singer to task, and in the weirdest way possible. And because she goes, oh, I really liked your music.
Well, you can't say they aren't trying.
Does the CD sound like you perform? And you can tell that the singer is actually legitimately confused by this, and I don't blame her. That's a really weird thing to ask, I think. And she's like, well, yes, it's me. Like, well, I mean, is there anything different? And the singer goes, well, normally I actually, perform with a drummer, but the drummer couldn't make it today. And, so, in the CD, there's a real light drum track, in the background. my dad goes, see, that's what I hate, you get these singers who come and play, and then, like, they try to sell you their CDs, and it just doesn't sound anything like it, And she's still saying this to the singer. Like now we're having a conversation with each other about why this sucks. It's like, it'd be like someone going, God, you're ugly. Let's sit here and discuss together why you're ugly. It's like, no one wants to have that conversation. And you can tell that the singer's like, okay, And I'm desperately trying to just fork out the money and, like, grab my CD and go. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And, like, I'm, like, literally holding my money out like that Fry meme, from Futurama. Just like, please take my money. And, it was just the most awkward thing. And so I finally get the CD and we leave and we go back to her car and she's like, oh, I've had a really good time. Like, yeah, I mean, it was something. And we go our separate ways, right? Not the end of the story. Like I said before, I have some very base instincts sometimes, and sometimes they get the best of me. And this is one of those times, because about a week later, I get talked into going on a second date. And in my head, I'm like, no, God, why am I doing this? And while the first date kind of took me out of town from my home quite a bit, this one took me even further. But like I said, I wanted to get laid. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. And you know what the thing was, there were some moments during the date that I actually legitimately enjoyed. And this is like, I'll hold on to those moments. Yeah, I'll hold on to those key minutes.
Guardian, get out of that pit. We must have that crystal or we'll never reach Oryx.
Oh, okay, don't give a shit about me. It's, the crystal. Jeez. No? That's about enough out of you. So, we go on a second day, and we're going to go see this band. I believe the band was called Cat Club, or Cat Club Music. Pretty unique band, actually. They were a Spanish band, from Barcelona, who played rockabilly music, like the Stray Cats, Brian Setzer and all that. But they're all, they're Spanish, so there's that kind of sound to them, like with the accents and everything. So we go to this bar in a town that I've honestly never been to before. It was the first time I've ever been to this city, and we first stop at this Euro place to eat, or I guess it was more than just Euro. It was like a Greek restaurant. And so we stop there to eat, and we order food, and you see that they're offering beer, that you can buy a beer here. Cool. We both order one. She actually, goes, hey, you should, grab yourself a beer. Whatever. I'm like,
Ian, is that you?
no problem.
We made it out.
Then the Taken King will fall. Bring me his dead son's crystal.
Okay, right there.
That's how Eris says
Villain.
she appreciates your sacrifice.
Villain.
Glad you're still alive.
So we eat at this place. We each have a beer, and we go to this bar where the performance is. We get there, and right away this guy runs up to my date, and it's like, calls out her name, which I won't use here, and it was like, oh, there's a problem. So right away I'm like, oh great, she knows everyone here too. Cool. They lost the band. They can't find where the band is. So, I'm a pretty laid back guy. Don't really care. So I was just like, hey, whatever. They'll find the band. No problem. And in the meantime, hey, there's like 10 pool tables at this bar. Do you want to play pool? And she goes, no, we need to think about the band first. And then it's like, okay, sure. And so I'm like, I'm just going to sit down and have another beer. And so I, sip this beer. Eventually, through all this twist and turning stuff, they find the band. And apparently the band was just going and got tattoos. Which makes sense to me, probably the first time in that city as well. Playing here in America, they weren't American. Rock and roll. Fuck it. Get tattoos, right? Hell yeah, I'm down with that. Show starts a little late. It's rock and roll. So they do show up. And at this point, more of my dates' army of friends have arrived from all corners of the Midwest, apparently. And I'm now in this struggle to have a conversation with my date, who has invited me to this place, while her friends who have just shown up are also struggling to have a conversation. And I realize it's a losing battle for me. Definitely. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I've been sick. And then my date does come up to me with one of her friends in tow. And right away I notice something is off. As in, her friend is clutching onto her own pants as if they are going to run away, cause an uprising, and take over the world. I was looking at the dawning of the age of pants. A dark denim-filled world with nothing but stuck zippers and chafing. So much chafing. And I'm staring this down, and I should have predicted what's coming. I absolutely should have.
But we must think of ourselves.
Well, while I'm here, let's do this real quick.
The crystal. Now you must bathe it in Crota's essence to get through that rupture.
Oh, cool. Whatever.
The Vanguard ignored my warnings, but now
Mm-hmm.
they seek to help. Cade has sent for you. Humor him.
I'm humoring you, honestly. You
You should be
self-important. Ugh. Ugh. I know, suspense. What's going on with this girl's pants?
Has a nice smile, but obviously she doesn't care if you live.
Oh my god.
Well, we can't let Oryx find you again. If you're gonna steal Crota's soul, you need some real cloaking tech. Alright, I'll be right here.
Alright. Okay, we're at the point now where you guys are just clearly adding just adding random shit. Okay, so finish up this story real quick. What? Apparently her friend's belt broke, or she forgot it, or I don't know what it is. But they asked me, can we use your belt? And I was like, oh, you know what? At this point in the night, sure. Like, here, just take it. Just take the fucking thing. Like, it's a $10 belt. Go nuts. And, yeah, they do. They take the belt. Band starts. Band's great. Really fun music. Everyone's getting into it. Everyone's dancing. I'm trying to dance with my date. She, apparently is more of an independent spirit when it comes to dancing, because she just wants to be by herself and dance. I just want to dance. And that's fine. That's cool. And where was I going again? Is it Earth? Yep. And that happens. Date done. It's great. They take a great picture of the whole group. You know, everyone who was there, because it wasn't a big turnout. So they're able to get a picture of everyone who watched the show.
You're entering a world you do not understand.
Don't worry about her, Guardian. She's still mad about what we did to her ship.
Us, the band, the promoter, probably a couple bartenders, whatever. You can see my date in the picture, and you can see me just like in the background, like peeking my head above everyone. That's how little like involvement I have had with my own fucking date. and now I have to drive my date back to where, you know, her car is, which is about like an hour drive.
I already stole it once.
And
Copy making that stealth drive you blew up. That it was getting old anyway.
And so I'm like, okay, well, this should be interesting. What was really made the trip a good time, though, I mean, just made my day, was
I haven't had much luck breaching Rasputin's security.
we've done it like 5 times.
Frequency that got me inside.
He will protect his domain.
That's cool, you know. Stand your ground, I guess. Is that a thing what AIs do? Like, that'd be kind of... Oh, okay, that's cool.
More interdimensional goo. Taking her here.
What? Not possible. We sealed the complex after the Omnigal breach.
Kate, look at this.
Interdimensional goo. Do you think they really care about your blocks?
Okay,
Like,
so if you see him, just shoot him.
yeah, that's the idea.
How did they even get in there?
The Taken are not bound by terrestrial constraints.
No shit. No shit.
I'll bet they'll be constrained by terrestrial bullets.
He does have a point there. So, what happens on the way back is I'm listening. You know, I got my MP3 player plugged in, you know, aux cable style, and actually, I think at that time I was still my car was still old enough to have one of those like cassettes, those, you know, big plastic cassettes with the cord sticking out of them that you can plug into your MP3 player and play like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I used. But in the course of listening to this on the way back, she discovers that I had exactly two Florence and the Machine songs on there. All right, Now, here's the thing. I don't mind Florence and the Machine, but I, at the time, liked exactly 2 of their songs. My date, on the other hand, is a huge Florence and the Machine fan, apparently, and decides to replay, just snatches the MP3 player away, and decides to replay those 2 songs the entire trip home. And it's just, I'm so just boggled by the whole experience at this. Like, I'm just, you could have like asked me like, hey, would it be okay if I ate your leg? I'd be like, yeah, whatever, just go for it. I have surrendered to the gods of bad dates, and like, just whatever.
I can't believe the Taken can track us so easily.
And then
Oryx really does hate us.
we killed his son.
That's exactly why we're here. We need those cloaking codes.
So we, but finally, the topping on the cake of the whole thing is, it's a windy night, and the trip back is on a pretty flat area, you know, so wide open spaces, windy night, wind picks up, like there's nothing to break it, nothing to slow it down, so every little bit of wind you feel, especially when you're driving. And on a couple occasions, like, I got hit by a gust of wind and the car would jerk. There's nothing you can do about that. You can be the best driver in the world, unless you can predict weather patterns. You're gonna get hit by this. And she looks at me and goes, were you drinking? Like, are you drunk? And I'm thinking, one, you're the reason I had that first beer in the first place. It was your idea. 2, I've had a total of 3 beers in the entirety of this night. Oh, shit. And these 3 beers have been spread out over about 4 hours. Okay? Now, I am not advocating drinking and driving. Alright? I'm not. Alright? In fact, you know, in any other circumstances, I probably would have tried to get a ride. And, you know, I was young. But honestly, in it's, you know, yes, no alcohol, no driving. I get that. That's what the PSA said. I'm gonna be real with you though. All those cops that are gonna pull you over for it, most of them have probably had a beer or 2 while out at dinner with their wives and stuff and drove home and didn't think twice about it. Once again, I'm not advocating this. I do not think you should do it, saying that it's something that is done. Alright, but she's giving me the, you know, the 10th degree about this, and she's like, well, if you're drunk, you can just drive me off here. I have never in my life been so tempted to just abandon someone in the middle of the wilderness. Like, I mean, it would have been to me, it would have been like the end of Mice and Men, you know? It was like, tell me about the rabbits, George, and spoilers. You know, except, you know, without the gunshot. It would just been like, let me listen to Florence and the Machine again. Yeah, you just do that. Just keep going. Yeah, there's a whole treasure trove of Florence and the Machine CDs and singer-songwriters who sound exactly the way they do on the CD. Just waiting for you. Just go. go further, just a little bit further. Yeah, just past that ridge and bye.
These crypto systems follow no logic I understand. I'm not sure if it can be modified to work on a Guardian.
Where do you think Blade Dancers got their cloaking ability?
If the Vanguard are satisfied, we can finally end this. Return to the moon. Steal Crota's soul.
Sure. So, alright, we'll get this wrapped up real quick. I do get her home. I don't leave her in the wilderness. And drop her off. And it's that point where she starts to, like, kind of stall a bit when I'm trying to get, like, let her out and let her go into her car. She starts to stall a bit. And all I get is like, no way this is happening, because, like, I know myself. If she asks, I will most likely try to go on another date with her, and I've had nothing but bad times, really. And so at the first opportunity arose, she gets out of the car, I say bye, she turns to say something else, and I just close the door, and I drive off like a bat out of hell. Like, as if my pants, which is still lacking a belt at this point, were on fire, and the only way I could put them out was if the air coming through my car, through the Florence and the Machine tainted speakers, would put out the flames. Like, that was it. And yeah, and that was kind of it with that girl. Here's the thing. This was well over 5 years ago. Like, I'm 29 now. Yeah, so about either 8 or 9 years, or 7 or 8 years ago that this happened. I am sure I'm a different person than I was back then. I know that for sure. I imagine she's much different. She's probably an amazing person. I hope she's done some great things. But that intersection where we intersected at the time, whew, man, there was just no jive there, man. And unfortunately, that also painted my opinion of using online dating services. And I have not used one since. So, yeah, that's the story. I never did get my belt back either, by the way. Still never got that belt back. God damn it. But, yeah, so wrap that up. Got 2 missions out of the way here. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Would mean the world to me. Mean the world to Owen, my buddy. All the relevant links are down below. And remember, you can catch this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And have a good one, guys.